1 tablespoon of ground cumin, a tablespoon of ground coriander. So you can see these are fairly large amounts, and fairly large amounts to give it a nice robust flavour. A little bit of salt, which you can omit or just adjust to taste. Some ground turmeric, some ground allspice, which I'll talk to you about in a second. If you can type in the chat if you know or have used allspice before, and if you know its other name. There's some ground ginger in there and some black pepper, a little bit of chili powder, which you can leave out if you wish and just skip over that step. 60 grams of olive oil, and I'm going to pop it all in there because I measured it all out just to save a little bit of time. Lid on. And for a minute, we're going to grind that. So round to speed test. And that's just to make sure that there's no big lumps in your salad. Not sure if you can do that. Yes, tomato. Jenny was right, it's known as pimento, and these are pimento seeds. So that's the whole thing. And then you can purchase it ground as well, which is what I've used in that. So it's often used in Middle Eastern foods just to give it that unique flavour. So we'll skip forward and we'll scrape down the sides. Smells terrific. I'm going to add some canned chickpeas, which I've had draining. And just a word about the chickpea juice. Aquafaba, or chickpea water. You can use that to make your mayonnaise if you've got family members that are egg intolerant, and you just use about 50 grams of that in your mayonnaise in replacement of the egg, so you can still use the standard Cookidoo recipes, and you can store that in the freezer as well so that you're not opening a batch of chickpeas just for the water. I've also added a little bit of cauliflower, which is one of Thermomix's little tweaks, so I'll just put that in there, and some red onion, which I've just chopped. You can slice it, chop it, add more, add less, whatever your flavor is. I'm not a great lover of too much onion, so I go a little bit light on. And the capsicum, which I've just sliced too. So as you can see, the colors in this dish are quite vibrant.
Sorry, Lynn, we've just got a
Hello.
Did you hear me? Sorry. Where can we get pimento from?
I get it from our local Whole Foods shop. I doubt it's something that Coles and Woolies will carry, but please correct me. So any sort of online retailers, you'll find it too. So that's the ground and the seeds. I got ours locally in Pambula.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay. Any more questions before I hop on? Yes, I do, Suzanne. I buy it in Pambula at the Whole Foods there. Yeah. So for 30 seconds on reverse, so the little green arrow was popped up to designate that the Thermomix is now in reverse. We're just going to mix that together and coat it with those lovely herbs and spices. And then we'll pop it in the oven. And there's just one more step, Lyndall, before you move on to the next person that I just wanted to do. So just hang fire before you turn me off. Okay, so transfer onto the prepared trays. tell you a little bit of a sneaky here. I'm going to do mine in the air fryer. It's a beautiful sunny day and we're on standalone solar power. So that will just work quite nicely. Who doesn't love a bit of kind of free power? So I would do this in the air fryer on about 180 for maybe 7 or 8 minutes and check it, give it a shake. If it needs a bit longer, then you can give that and just do it according to your tastes. So I have some pita breads here that also need roasting, so I will roast those. I don't know if you can, there we go. I'll just lose me, which I'm sure you won't mind. So the pita breads are going to go in the air fryer too. I'll probably do them just slightly afterwards. Just brush with a little bit of oil. This is a handy all natural brush from the mix shop. Lost a few hairs early on, but it seems to have settled down, so it doesn't look quite as much like my husband as it was heading. So just a little bit of olive oil on there and a little sprinkle of salt. Push that out the way. So we'll put those in the oven when we're gone. So clean and dry the mixing bowl. I'm not big on cleaning and drying the mixing bowl if I'm incorporating similar flavors. If it's a cheesy or heavy protein based, I will clean and dry the bowl, but generally for things like this, I won't clean and dry it. Yes, Jenny, I did make the pitas. I made them this morning. Pita breads are my husband's forte, but we do use the Cookidoo recipe because it gives an excellent result. And I made half a batch and he was busy on the stove this morning. So I have to place a bowl on the Thermomix lid. And I need to add 20 grams of red wine vinegar, which I've already pre-mixed. Does anybody have a favorite red wine vinegar that they might like to recommend? Christina, I do it at about 180 for about 6 or 7 minutes and then check it, shake it, and stir it around if need be, and then set it off again for another couple of minutes. Just a look and feel thing. Okay, so the bowl should have red cabbage in it, but I'm not a fan of red cabbage in lots of things. So I've done some celery, which is an adaptation of Thermobexters, and I'm just going to pour that red wine vinegar over there. And this needs to sit now just while your other, the chickpeas roast in that oven. So it's over to Lyndall and Sally, I believe. Any more questions before we go?
I can't see any there, Lynn, but I'm sure you'll keep an eye on this while I'm a couple. Yeah. I'm going to start with the warm Mediterranean couscous salad. I'm just going to, sorry, I'll just get myself up there. Spotlight. Spotlight. There we go. Okay, can everyone see me? Everyone's good. Cool. All right, so we're going to press start cooking. In the bowl, we're going to put 120 grams of olive oil. Now you can see I've got 2 Thermomixes here. I am very fortunate. I have earned all of my Thermomixes. I actually have 3. One's out on loan at the moment. But you could earn your Thermomix, or you could earn your second Thermomix as well. So just because you've got one, imagine what you could do with 2. And I'm doing 2 dishes today, so even better, I can have the 2 Thermomixes going at once. But if you want to have a little bit more information about that, stay on after the chat and after the presentation, and we'll have a chat to you about that. Perfect. So 120 grams of olive oil, 80 grams of lemon juice. Got there. 2 to 3 cloves of garlic. And we've also got some fresh oregano. Now, Woolies did not have oregano today. They did say they had oregano, but they didn't. So I've just added some extra basil leaves because that's the other thing that it's asking for. So some garlic and some basil in there. Now, all these recipes that we're doing today are available on Cookidoo. So you should be able to find those if you have a TM6 or if you have a TM5 and a quick key. You also, if you have a TM31, you can still use the Cookidoo recipes. You'll just be using them manually on your screen. So have a look into the subscription there for that if you don't have access to it. It's really amazing. It opens you up to about 8,500 recipes that you can use. So very big library. And some pepper. Teaspoon of honey. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't do teaspoons. I just guess. You can weigh. If you go to your 3 little dots, you can use the scales here. And a tablespoon of honey is about 20 grams. So you could halve it to about 10, but, you know, guessing's just as good. As long as you know what you're doing, you can break the rules. All right, so insert the measuring cup, press next, and we're going to mix that together. Okay. Transfer that one into a bowl and put it aside. So that's our dressing done. Has anyone made this salad before? Write it in the chat if you have. Okay, now it says clean and dry mixing bowl. I've actually read ahead and it wants me to put some water in it, so I'm going to leave it as is. All right, so 1,000 grams of water. Now, hands up who uses their Varoma. I'll pop it in the chat who uses their Varoma and who uses it regularly. Okay. All right. So I'm going to pop my Varoma in place. And I'm going to weigh some pumpkin into the bottom. 300 grams of pumpkin into cubes. Now, a little trick that you want to know, you can see what I'm doing in there, but just make sure there's some holes for the steam to come through. Kelly rarely uses hers. Perfect. This might be a good idea to use this dish and give it a go. Then on top of that, I'm going to put 150 grams of fresh green beans. Now, once again, Woolies, I ordered the green beans. They did not come, so I have some snow peas. So 150 grams of fresh snow peas. Pop those on top. Once again, still leaving a hole in the middle. And then I've got the tray here. Okay, and I'm going to insert, pop some wet, well wrung out baking paper. So I did wet that down and wring it out. And then I'm going to put 120 grams of couscous. Now it asked me to rinse it and then drain the couscous. So I have done that. Pop that on the top. Spread that out. There we go. It's obviously swelled when I rinsed it. So there we go. We actually have more than we should, but that's okay. I'm spreading it out evenly with the spatula as opposed to with your fingers. But of course, with our current restrictions, nobody will be eating it but us. So fingers it is. All right, secure the lid. Next.
Lyndall.
Yes.
When you're, excuse me a sec, she says spilling the contents of the kitchen all over the place. Suzanne asked, do you leave a hole in the middle when you're filling your your Varoma. And yes, absolutely, you need the steam to be able to get around. And one tip I have picked up is to put your measuring cup in, fill with veg, and then take it out, and they should have some wriggle room there. You're not looking to pack it as tight as it should be. You need to have the room for the steam to circulate, as Lyndall mentioned earlier.
Yeah, thanks, Lynn, that's great. All right, so I'm actually making 2 dishes today. So I'm going to go on to my second one. Now I'm going to move myself over a little bit.
Ooh,
Okay. So what I'm going to do now is do the seared steak and rocket salad. Now, for all of you TM5, TM31 owners out there, this is purely a TM6 recipe. So I wanted to pop this one in just to show you what extra features the TM6 has. And we're going to use high heat function today. So we're going to sear that steak at a really high heat, and it's going to get that nice sizzle and that nice caramelization about it, which just doesn't come with the TM5. The TM31, so that's definitely an upgrade for the TM6. So you can have a look at that one today. Those of you who have TM6, I'm sure you're familiar with that sizzle. All right, so start cooking. 20 grams of vegetable oil. Oh, good, I wasn't quite sure if I had enough there, but I do. And then some onions. So it's really important when we're going to be using high heat function to follow what the Thermomix says. So at the moment it's saying 50 grams of onions, cut in halves and then sliced into 5mm pieces. So I've just sliced those up. The reason that it's important for things to be cut the specific way is so that the high heat works for its at the best ability. Pop that on. I'm going to saute the onions for 2 minutes. Now, while we're doing that, I'm going to swap us over and stop my video here. And back onto this one. Can everyone see that? Yep, good, thanks, Sal. So for our September offer, if you don't happen to have a TM6 or if you're in the market for another one or an upgrade, or you know someone who is interested in a Thermomix at the moment, you offer them the barbecue bundle for the month of September. $49 on top of the Thermomix purchase, you can get the skewers, the Meter Plus thermometer, which is worth $199 by itself, the Meter Plus, and also the barbecue cookbook, which is a very good deal and also great for the warmer months coming up. We also are looking for people to join our team. So as I spoke about earlier, we were talking about earning Thermomixes. We have some great rewards programs, lots of different incentives. So joining our team in the month of September will mean that you get the beautiful anniversary cookbook on top of your business kit. If that's something that you were looking at, or if you are bored at home at the moment and you would like to see a little bit more of the Thermomix, maybe learn, get a little bit more out of your Thermomix, it's a great way to do that, is to become a consultant and show others and learn from other consultants. And I can tell you it's a really rewarding job and it's a really great place to start. So I'm just going to stop screen share there for a second and come back here. All right, so that was 2 minutes on the onions. All right, so they've sauteed and they've also broken up a little bit too. All right, so now I'm going to add my 200 grams of beef rump steak that I've cut into strips. So you can see that there. And they're going to go straight in. And I'm just going to position them around the blade so nice and even, so we get a nice even cook. It's also for 1 sprig of rosemary, so that's going to go in the bowl. We're then going to put, which is another accessory that is only available with the TM6, is the splash guard. So that's it there. So this is used for high heat mode, also for sugar front as well. And we'll pop that on. And then we're going to go for 6 minutes while we saute that beef. While we're doing that, I'm going to swap over to salad. So I'll start her salad, and we might have to double back, but we'll do that. Just right. There we go, Sal.
Okay, my turn. Okay, so thanks for joining our salad, spring into salads. I'm really excited to show you one of my favorite recipes. And the one I'm showing is called the beetroot and carrot salad with Vincotto dressing. The reason I love this one, it's really fresh and it's actually seasonal at the moment with the vegetables we're using as well, which are beetroots and carrots and also some rocket. The beetroot and carrot salad recipe comes from the barbecue cookbook as well. So it's featured in that bundle offer for this month. So the other ingredients, as I go through, I'll just explain what goes in, is we've got the Vincotto, or I haven't been able to get that, or what is in my pantry at the moment, which you can use instead, which is in the tips and tricks, is the pomegranate molasses. So it's kind of got an Italian flavour through. Vincotto is traditionally an unfermented grape, which is then reduced as a verjuice. But the pomegranate molasses is another option, so I'm using that, and I got that from the Pambula Whole Foods a little while ago. It's also got some balsamic, it's got the beetroot, which will show you how quick and easy it is to actually put one of these fancy salads together, carrot, and then it's laid with some rocket, the dressing that we're going to put together, and some feta cheese on top. So I'm going to start making it because it's quite quick to go as well. So yeah, we make this quite a lot, and it feeds a crowd as well. It feeds quite a lot of servings. So either, you know, you can have it for leftovers, for lunches as well, if you're on a bit of a September, spring health kick, or yeah, it's great uses as well. Okay, so I'm going to start making the salad. So I've already weighed out my ingredients. I'm going to start with the pomegranate molasses, or the Vincotto if you can get it. I'm going to pop that in. Use my scrape in the rest of that. And then I've got my balsamic vinegar. Then goes in orange juice. So I've already juiced the orange. Olive oil, which I'm just going to measure in. I'm just using those little yogurt jars from the mix shop for my measures there. And we'll just give that a little spin to mix through. 5 seconds. Okay, so the beetroot is just cut in quarters, because when you're doing a coleslaw type, I don't know if anyone in the chat has made a beetroot salad before, or coleslaw. This idea is that the vegetable chops are relatively all similar to get the same texture for the vegetables. I'm just going to pop in the beetroot. That's 400 grams, and again 400 grams of my carrot. Now again, with the TM6 and the screen, you've actually got like little tutorial videos of how to mix or do different functions of your machine. This is just giving you an idea that we're going to use the spatula to help turn the vegetables or mix. So if I was to hit that play, it will give us a little screenshot. How clever is that? So there's many recipes that have an inbuilt video kind of little screen, so you can have a look, and it's just sort of saying showing visually what to do with the spatula. So I'm going to pop in the spatula. And it's going to be 5 seconds, speed 5. So that's all it's going to take to chop down this. It might go a little bit noisy, so with the zoom, or it might cut out altogether. Just a little scrape down. Just show you how effective that was. So you can just see the contents in there. It's all, yeah, evenly chopped through, which is great. Okay, now adding into this beautiful salad, we've got 50 grams of cranberries. Again, sometimes if you don't have cranberries, you could use another sort of raisin, sultana, or we often use the Inca berries. Pepitas, 20 grams toasted. Now, I decided to try out the pepitas toasting in the Thermomix prepping up, so I just did that on 5 minutes, Varoma, temperature, and speed 2. So I've toasted those in the bottom just to give that kind of crisping as well. And again, the beauty of this salad recipe as well, optional, but the reason I love it is because I love those functional foods, is we've got some hemp seeds. Again, they're not, as it says in the recipe, that psychedelic variety, but rather they're full of nutritional benefits, the seeds. They can be used as a food source. You can make hemp milk in the Thermomix too, but they have like basically lots of omega-3s, helpful fatty acids that we need as well. So a great source of protein and omega-3s going in. And linseeds or flax seeds, same thing. So again, I've just got my little flax seeds there. And a little bit of salt. A little pinch. Lyndall, if you need to stop me to go on to yours, let me know. Is this
a step you're about to just, are you going, what's your next step, Sal? You tell me.
Mixes, I've got the final prep of the dish, so I'll just finish this step if you like and let you carry on, and then I can pop it all together when you're ready. So next ready after the step. So just that last one, a little measure for a mix for 5 seconds, speed 3 on reverse, so it's not going to chop that down at all. It's just mixing all those vegetables. Okay, so yeah, so I'll go over to Lyndall and then we'll come back and just prep up the salad and show you the last stage.
Perfect. Thanks, Sal. So while our steak, we put together the rocket. So I've got rocket, I've got some capers. It actually calls for caper berries, but capers is all I could get on the far south coast here at not short notice, but just, you know, without going too far out of my 5 kilometre or 10 or whatever it is at the moment. We've got some cherry tomatoes as well as a ripe avocado, and avocado is great at the moment, still in season and nice and cheap. So I've got that there. What it's going to ask me to do is transfer the seared beef and onions to a bowl into the salad here. So let's see. We've got some nice colour there on the steak. So that's it done. So some seared steak for a salad or for a stir fry, whatever you want to use it for, in 6 minutes. Hands-free, so that's always handy. So what I'm going to do is just place it with some tongs, just because I want to leave, it says to retain the meat juices in the bottom of the bowl. So I'm just going to take out the meat and the onions. I'm also going to discard the rosemary sprig. So I've got all those big bits out. So I've also got some caramelisation on the bottom of my bowl, which obviously comes with that high heat function. And Kel asked a really great question about how hot the high heat function goes. It goes to 160 versus with the TM5, it would only go to 120. Okay, so you've got an extra 40 degrees, which just allows us to get that that browning, that caramelization, and you can see that on the bottom of the bowl there. Now it's actually going to use those flavors in the dressing. So I'll go ahead and do the dressing now.
We've just got a question from Suzanne in Merimbula, and she is asking if the steak is tender.
I haven't eaten it yet. But
oh, come on.
yeah, I'll tell you. But every other dish that I've done with the high heat, it's certainly nice and tender. One of my favourites is the sticky chili beef, which is a really quick one from a UK Cookidoo collection, and it's definitely a winner in our household. So I'm just putting 30 grams of shelled carved walnuts, as well as another 20 grams of vegetable oil, which is what I was worried I didn't have. So I'm going to use sunflower oil instead. There's always lots of different oils in a Thermomix kitchen. And then 10 grams of lime juice. In that goes for a little bit of zest. And some honey, so it's going to measure this one. 10 grams. Spot on. And some salt and pepper to taste. I'm a seasoned sort of a girl. My dad's a chef. He always said that you never under-season something. So I was a little bit over what it asks for. And then some pepper. And then we're going to pop the lid back in, but with the measuring cup. My couscous salad going off. And that's going to chop it. All right. So we're then going to pour that over the salad, and that'll be our salad done. So you can see that's a lovely flavoured dressing. Now, Lynn, how are you placed?
I'm ready to show the chickpeas. I'm ready to move on if that works for you, or if you would rather continue.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll just unspotlight myself so I can.
Sure.
For you. Okay. Guys, I'll be quick at the technology part, but lots of practice. There we go, Lynn.
Okay, so it smells absolutely amazing. This is the cauliflower, capsicum, and chickpeas, and they've got a lovely colour. So that was 8 minutes at 180, and then I gave it a shake and did it for another 2 minutes. And I'll just pop that aside. So you want me to continue, Lyndall? Yep, okay. So the next step is some red onion in our bowl, which again I've chopped pretty small because of my little foibles, and some sumac. If you've never used sumac, it's an absolutely gorgeous color and smells awesome. When I bought this from Pambula the other day, my car just drove me insane on the way home because it was so fabulous. So that's 2 teaspoons going in there. Again, you could measure the 10 grams if that's how you prefer to go. And we're just going to set that off just for 20 seconds, just to give that onion a base. So this is doing it on reverse as well. Okay, now I've got to add half a yellow capsicum, which I've just cut into strips, and some extra virgin olive oil, which I have put in there. And as this isn't going to be cooked, I've used a nice dressing type olive oil instead of just a common garden cooking one. So that's in there like that. And lemon juice, 50 grams of lemon juice is in there too. That's our last lemon off the tree for the moment. Some salt's already in there. Just put that in and give it another stir on speed 2 on reverse. So now it's asking me to put this into the bowl with the pickled celery, pickled cabbage, aka celery. So I will just grab that and scrape that out. And so you've got a nice salty, sour combination of flavors. The only thing that's missing is a little bit of sweet. So now I am ready to dress my salad and plate it up. Lyndall, where would you like me to go from here?
Sorry, I realised I was on mute before when I was telling you to keep going. But one day technical stuff will come together. But yes, if you that's great. If you're up to that, then go for it, because I dress. We'll keep going with that.
So I have here a plate of baby spinach and some Cous from the garden. I've got some cucumber too, which I will just put. I'm very much a hands girl. Tongs and things annoy me, except when things are hot, of course. I will put some of the chickpeas on the top of that. I'm making a mess, if only you could see. I'll just leave a few extra to pop on the top. Now you can plate these in individual bowls, which is what they recommend or what they demonstrate in the recipe. But if you're going to put this on the table for a bit of a share with a barbecue, this is a great way to do it, is just on a platter. And layer it up with what you like, in the amount that you like. So as you can see, it makes quite a bit, and there's only 2 of us, so I might just leave that there. I'll put a little bit of that dressing on it. Finish the chickpeas. And last but not least, some mint and coriander, just as a little garnish. And the piece de resistance is pomegranate arils. And at the moment, pomegranates aren't in season. They're an awesome tree, and I'm planning on planting some. But those little red, beautiful explosions of juice are just going to be scattered on the top. I got these from Coles, and they came in a packet like this. Okay, and so with those remaining ones, I'll just spread them out in a single layer and freeze them, and then vacuum pack them. I've got one of those vacuum sealers from the mix shop, and that will just hold those really nicely until the next time I want to use them. I won't bother defrosting them. I'll just sprinkle them on from frozen, because they won't take long to defrost anyway. The other thing that Thermomix recommends that I really love is, because we're looking at Middle Eastern, Indian type flavors, is you can't go past adding tahini to it. Yes, I made the tahini. It's so easy. It's very noisy, but it's well worth it, because it means you can make it to demand rather than have it sitting around. And I don't put oil in mine, whereas a lot of the commercial products do have oil in them. So I made it. I'll just grab it for you. So this is some tahini with some yogurt and salt and garlic. And I'll just pop that, splodge it over the top.
How colourful. It's such a beautiful dish, isn't it?
Middle Eastern food's awesome for colours. And
now,
there
Lynn,
is your chickpea shawarma salad.
I'm going to take a photo of you. So if you could just stay there. Yeah.
With a few little additions extra. So if you want to know any more about those, just ask me.
Thank you.
You got it?
Yeah, I think so. I think
Okay, that's my piece. I'm done.
beautiful. Thank you, Lynn, and thank you for recommendations from the mix shop. I know Lynn had a couple there, so we can write those in the chat as well. I'm just going to, I might call them out because we had the pastry brush, and we had the what else was it, Lynn?
Yeah.
Sealer, the vacuum spoke about.
Yeah, and I did my vegetables with this out of the kitchen toolkit, which are now in the mixer.
They are in the mixer.
The other thing that I used when I did I'm just searching in my sink here. This is the trivet for the Varoma.
Oh, yes.
And when you're air frying pita breads, they tend to fly around a little bit. So I just put it in the
fryer as well
of the bread and let it toast. Oh, that's what I haven't put on.
Oh, the pita bread.
My bread. But they're here. They're nice and crispy.
Lovely.
There we go. Okay.
Great. It's been on my list of things to do for a while. Just haven't got there yet.
Do it.
Sally, before I get back to you, I've got a couple more steps with my chickpea salad. My couscous salad. Goodness, we're talking about chickpeas already. Oh, dear. Let me do that one there. Okay, perfect. So I'm going to transfer the couscous into a large bowl, which I do have here. Okay. All right. And it wants to fluff it with a fork. I've got enough action there with my tongs to get that happening. You can see that. Okay, then we're going to pop the pumpkin and the green beans or snow peas if Woolies lets you down. Those on top. Put those aside. Okay, and now just mix that around a little bit. Because it's quite a big salad, I would recommend tossing it sort of during so that you're not just stuck with one layer on the bottom when you get to it. So we're going to place the bowl on top of the lid and add in some spinach leaves. Might just move here. I'm not going to go with all of them just because I'm going to struggle with that bowl. This is the largest salad bowl I have. It is quite big, so this is a big salad. Some chickpeas that have been drained. As well as some pine nuts, which I have here. So 40 grams of pine nuts or cashew nuts, depending on what your preference is. Some cherry tomatoes. Now, speaking of tossing it during, I'm actually going to pull this off and give it a bit of a toss now. You can see that it's quite full. So just getting in there, moving it all around. And obviously this one actually can be served hot or warm or cool. So obviously you would be waiting for the pumpkin, the couscous and the beans to be cooled down if you were going to serve it cold. Obviously I'm going to dress it warm today. So we'll just stir that all through. Again, we've got some great colour going through there. Pop it back on. Transfer all that in. Okay, so then we've got some basil. So we've got some fresh basil here. Although once again, it's looking a bit iffy. I bet everyone's wishing they could get back to the farm with Sally. Sally Moragas works at the From Little Things Parklands. Is that what it's called now, Sal? Down at arugula? And
We've actually renamed Farm on the Green, and we are still being able to essential maintenance. So some of our produce is going to SLO. So if you are local and you are missing herbs, we don't have basil because it's a summer herb, but we do supply a good bunch of mixed herbs to SLO as well. So it's always nice to try and eat local seasonal produce, I guess, or start growing our own too in these times. A lot of us, I think, are looking for things to do. So even just getting a little planting kit and growing some herbs is great too.
absolutely. I'm now just adding some pitted olives, and they're sliced. Popping those on top, as well as some Lebanese cucumber, which I've also chopped up. Okay. Then we've got our reserved dressing, which is just here. There's quite a bit of dressing, which I'm grateful for because that's a lot of salad. All right. Stir that around. And that'll wilt the spinach a little bit more too, so that it just brings it down a little bit. So how great barbecue look. I mean, no one's having barbecues with friends, depending on where you're from and where you are, but you can have barbecues with your family. And I know some of you on here have quite big families, so you know you'll be still feeding masses, maybe even feeding your children more because they're home instead of at school. So if anyone understands that feeling, put your hand up. We're here for you. We feel for you. Yes, Rachel, I imagine you were the person I was thinking of when I said that. All right, so that is done. So this is my warm Mediterranean couscous salad, and you can see, yeah, it is.
I'll get a photo, Lyndall, just a moment.
Thanks, Sally.
There you go, done. Okay, great.
Which is our seared steak salad. And Suzanne, I did take a bite of the steak while I was waiting for the other one to cook, and it is nice and tender. So can recommend that one. Obviously, you could use other cuts of beef as well. You don't have to use, but that's what it called for. So that's what we've got there. This one I'm really excited for. Look, I'm not generally a fan of salads, I have to say. I would say that you don't make friends with salad. And whereas Sally is very much a salads lady, and so is Lynn. They both love their veggies. But I'm going to try those ones. They look really great. And I don't use my Thermomix for salads, so now I'm learning something, as I hope you guys have too. So I'm going to take the spotlight off myself and pop it on Sally just to finish off, and we'll see Sally's dish. And then we'll run through other recommendations from the rest of our team. So once Sally's done, we'll do that as well.
Great. Okay, so again, I'm just putting together now this lovely beetroot and carrot salad with the Vincotto dressing. I'm going to tilt my screen. I'm very high tech here, so you can see me popping it together. Okay, so there we go. Can you all see my little table? Okay, so the first one is just to scatter some green leaves at the bottom of a salad platter. It can be a different type of leaf. I've just got rocket actually, but it could be small beetroot leaves. It could be spinach leaves, whatever greens you can find. Okay, and then I'm going to then pop over the beetroot salad that we chopped. So again, this is one of those really simple, quick salads to make. It literally in the book has 10-minute prep time and 10-minute active time. So the whole thing all up is 10 minutes. So I'll just scrape what I can out of the bowl. Again, I'm using a clockwise direction with this new spatula, which was designed to go with this new model. But again, with a softer, pliable spatula, just going in a clockwise direction is recommended. Okay, so that's my lovely salad chopped on top. Next goes the cheese. Now this is a Danish feta, and it's sort of chosen because it's kind of crumbling, gives that sort of crumble to the salad. You can use different types of cheeses as well. You can use a blue cheese, different types of feta could work as well. As you can see, I'm the opposite. I'm using a little spoon to scrape mine off, but that's all good. So that goes on top.
I like because it's not as bitey as the Greek feta.
Yeah, and I've also done this before with cashew cheese. I don't know if anyone's plant-based or has even thought about that, but cashew cheese is also simple, easy to make in the Thermomix, and also that can be used as a substitute as well. And then lastly, just a drizzle more of the molasses can go on top too. And again, I feel like we're at one of those salad franchises that you go to in those big shopping malls like in Canberra. But here's another one that's just super quick, super easy. I'll tilt myself back up so we can get a photo. And, you know, what I'll do is just give it a little taste and make sure that it's all good.
You can make pomegranate molasses in your Thermomix as well.
Yeah, I guess you could.
I've never done it.
Mm.
You can.
Hold it up.
Nice.
But again, another beautiful, fresh, quick and easy one to make. Super easy. And this one from the barbecue book, there's so many different recipes grouped into sort of like certain meats, fish, seafood, salads,
Perfect.
desserts, the lot. Yeah.
Lovely. Thank you,
Okay.
Sarah.
Yum.
All right, so just going. Okay, and just going to share screen again. Here. All right, so if you didn't already know, today, if you came along as a host and you had a couple of guests come along, you were eligible for host rewards. But bear in mind, all of our virtual events are able to be done that way. So that's a really great thing to keep in mind. These are our other recommendations from some of our other consultants and some of the consultants that are on the call today. So the coconut poached chicken salad, as well as the Thai beef salad and the satay noodle salad, Aussie potato salad, the warm Caesar salad with polenta croutons, the salad with goat's cheese and toasted cashew dressing. Then the quinoa with mixed greens and yogurt dressing. That's definitely a recommendation there from Sal. And the broccoli salad with red pepper and pine nuts. And then another recommendation from Sally, who is the self-proclaimed crazy veggie lady, the green garden juice, which is salad in a drink. I don't know that I'm keen on that one, but we'll see. Now, we actually have some more classes coming up for Team Sapphire next Saturday at 10 a.m. We are holding Sweet September, which is pretty much the exact opposite of this class. So we've gone from one extreme to the next. We're going to show you about the sugar mode on the TM6. I have to say this is definitely more up my alley, but yeah, I haven't picked a menu yet. So if you have any suggestions, pop them in the chat below. But we're going to show you how the sugar mode works on the TM6. We also have a branch cook-along coming up, which is Friday the 17th of September. So the Team Sapphire is holding that one. And we're going to be doing the Korean barbecue pork with rice salad. So we're going to show you how to use the Meter Plus, which is, of course, the gift with purchase for this month. So if you did have anyone keen to get along and see how that worked, then bring them along. And just a thank you for joining us this afternoon. We really appreciate that you've spent your time with us. I know sometimes these times don't work out, but we really appreciate when people do jump on. So thank you for coming, and thank you to Lynn and Sally for presenting with me. Really lovely, and I hope you guys would like to see some more from Team Sapphire. If you are interested in becoming part of our team, we would love to have you on board. If you are finding yourself with a little bit of extra time at the moment, or would like to get some more out of the Thermomix, then please stay on and we'll have a chat with you afterwards. And of course, if you know anyone who would like a Thermomix, please yell out. We would love to help them. But thank you for your time. And we're all finished. So there you go, 4 salads in 1 hour. Not a bad effort.
Thanks, Lyndall.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, there was just one question in the chat from a Christina who wanted to see the very first screen of the salad recipes that was flashed up. Lyndall, I don't know if you can remember what they were called or if Christina's still on. She just had the question.
Yes, I will share my screen and I'll that. This one here. How's that? Is that
not quite. There it goes. Yes, that's the first one. I'll take a photo so we've just got, oh, you've got the screenshot. So can you see that, Christina? She might have gone anyway, but.
Sorry, not that one. It was the screens of the recommendation. So the first screen of the salad recommendation. I was trying to take photos of it, but by the time I got my phone on, it went flipped fast.
Okay.
Is it that one?
Yeah, that's probably it, I think. Yes.
Oh,
okay,
yes,
thank you.
Yeah. They're all delicious.
Did you get?
Someone else
Did you
wants
want me
to
to-
see them as well. Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. So that's the first recommendation page, and then I can flip through. Is everyone done
Yes,
with that?
please. Yeah.
Second one.
Potato salads, often the potatoes cooking in the simmering basket or in the varoma, so that's really good. The quinoa one, there's using the varoma dish to cook the beans, which is great too.
We could put links of these on the mix
Yeah,
boards, can we?
Yeah, that's a good idea, Lynn. We could put all the recipe links on.
Perfect. Is that all right, Christina? You've
Yeah,
got
thank you
those?
so much. I took photos of them, so that's great. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. It's great.
Lovely. Okay. Any more questions, anyone? Or has anyone tried any really beautiful salad recipes which we haven't shown today? I mean, there's so many of them, but bye, Carolyn.